Josh Pate has released his worst case scenario for Alabama football in 2025. Is he right? Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides, your favorite Alabama talk here on YouTube. That is Way with 4 A's. Three's not enough, five's too many, four, just like in the word Alabama. Hey, Alabama fans, we are only a few days removed from the start of the season where Alabama looks like they're going to head down to Tallahassee and handle some business on August 30th. We'll have live game updates, predictions. We'll be talking all things college football all throughout the season. So even if you're not an Alabama fan, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You won't miss a thing. And hey, for those of you recruiting heads out there, just because the season starts doesn't mean recruiting's over. Recruiting actually picks up during the season with, flip season and everything. So do the thing. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. You won't miss a minute. With the season on the horizon comes crazy takes, hot takes, baby. Everybody loves a hot take or two. And one of the best, Adam, is Josh Pate. I love Josh Pate. Most people who follow college football absolutely love Josh Pate. Have a ton of respect for the guy. Great picture choice, by the way, by yours truly. So, Josh, if you're watching this, you're doing a great job. But we're going to talk about what you said about Alabama today. For those of you who watched the Josh Pate College Football Show, he today discussed best case, most likely case, and worst case scenario for Alabama football. So we'll start with the best case scenario. His best case scenario, whatever his algorithm is, whatever his formula is, has Alabama going 11-1. Obviously, if the Tide go 11-1 with their schedule, they will make the playoff and be a heavy favorite towards the end of the season to win the whole daggum thing in 2025, like most of us think that they are capable of. Fantastic. That's the good part. That's the good part. Now, the most likely scenario, actually, let's start with the worst case scenario. Let's go there. Worst case scenario, Alabama goes 6-6. Now, that is a hard pill to swallow. Even talking about it hypothetically, a lot of Alabama fans right now that just heard me say that are like, what? Oh no. Even me, a 6-6 record, that is tough. That's for those of you who were an Alabama fan before the Nick Saban years, maybe not so much. For those of you who jumped on the bandwagon while the GOAT was at the capstone, absolutely, 6-6 is tough. But Pate makes some good points there that with Alabama's schedule, it is a gauntlet. Alabama has a stretch from the end of September when they go to Georgia all the way through October. That's just brutal. And then towards the end of the season, it doesn't get much better. It gets a little better, but not much better. It's a tough schedule. They've got to go to South Carolina. They've got to go to Auburn, to Missouri. And then most of their other big games are played. Obviously, they're going to Athens. Most of their other big games are at home. Tennessee, LSU. But if the wheels were to fall off, that could potentially happen. I don't expect it to. But I also would remind you all that a couple seasons ago, if things go different, a couple of plays go different here and there, Alabama could have realistically gone 6-6 under Nick Saban. Just because they wear the Alabama A on their chest doesn't mean that they're immune to injuries that impact the game. A lot of different variables that could happen. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think Alabama's way too talented and well coached to go 6-6, even with the schedule they have. Now, the question becomes, what's the most likely scenario for Alabama? Well, Josh Pate had an answer for that too, and it is not surprising to some, 9-3. A lot of people are picking Alabama to lose to Georgia because that game's at Athens. A lot of people, there are some people out there who think Alabama will struggle at Jordan-Hare. I wouldn't be surprised. Bama does not play well on the road at Auburn. And then the other one that I have circled would be South Carolina. I think that atmosphere is going to be very, very tough for Alabama. It's right smack in the middle of the season. It's still going to be warm. I'm not saying that Alabama can't go in there and just beat the crap out of the Gamecocks, But I'm just saying that's one that we definitely want to watch. If I were to pick 3 games Alabama were going to lose in 2025, it would be those 3. Now, a lot of people think LSU. We had Daily Joy on the show last week on our live, and she agreed with us. As a rabid LSU fan, she agreed that she's not sold on the LSU preseason hype. She's got to see it on the field first. I agree with that sentiment. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where the Nussmeier love is coming from. I mean, just, I don't know what, 10 months ago, 11 months ago, not even, the press box was empty. Everybody's down on the field, and Alabama's beating LSU in Death Valley 42-6 without throwing the ball. They were able to do it just on the ground. So LSU has a lot of convincing to do to make me think that Bama would lose that game. I think likely Bama finishes 10-2. That is my most likely finish here. Now, on the one end of the spectrum, you're talking 6-6. Is that possible? Yes, it absolutely is. But I think Pate brought up the fact that he felt like for that to happen, there would have to be some quarterback discrepancies. Alabama would have to not be able to run the ball. There'd have to be a propensity for the secondary to give up big plays. I think a lot of things would have to go wrong for Alabama to finish 6-6. A lot of things. And everything that Pate said regarding the quarterback, regarding the secondary, if Alabama can't run the ball, I think, like I told you guys, I think what you're going to see in Tallahassee is Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, them challenging that offensive line early on and trying to get Alabama to grind out a win there in Tallahassee, in the heat, in the humidity, on the road, in an intimidating environment, to show the rest of the country we're still Alabama. We can still beat you with Julius Murderball. Now, if Bama can't do that, if there's the injury bug, which seems to have impacted Alabama last season, if that continues, if Ty Simpson isn't everything he's cracked up to be, we all have very lofty expectations for him, then yeah, Alabama could potentially have a pretty nasty record. I think they finished 10-2, but my question becomes, and this is what I want you to tell me in the comment section below, if Alabama were to finish 9-3, do they still make the playoff? They finished the regular season 9-3 last year and just missed out. Would the committee leave a 9-3 Alabama out again? Now, with the losses that I potentially mentioned, those are 3 of the 4 ranked teams Bama will play, right? If they were to lose all those ranked games, I think they get left out. Now, what could save them is that they beat LSU, who potentially at that time, if they're as good as advertised, would be a top 5, top 10 team. That win could put them over the threshold to get in at number 12 or something like that. But I want to hear what your thoughts are. Does a 9-3 Alabama get left out of the 12-team playoff in 2025? I don't think so. I don't think it matters because I think Bama only loses 2 games. I think that they potentially lose at Georgia, and then they potentially lose to South Carolina. I think they easily could go 11-1. I think they could potentially go 12-0. Now, that's not the norm in college football anymore. It's not going to be the norm. Don't expect teams to be undefeated like we used to see. I just don't see that happening. 10-2 is the new 12-0. That's just what it is. Your typical powerhouses lost at least 1 game last year. The majority of them lost 2 or 3 games last year. I just don't see that happening. You're not going to have a lot of undefeated national champions anymore unless their schedule is soft like our friends up in the Big Ten. So leave a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, thanks for stopping in with us, spending some time with us. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. You can follow us on social medias at Way Offsides, Way with 4 A's. Never 3, never 5, always 4. Thanks for sticking around. You guys know the drill. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.